Ah, Hey there, audit and fraud, friends and family. Listen, what if you had a program that was built on a promise, a promise to do good for the community? It had a mission that inspired hope. But then, somewhere between grant money and goals and objectives, the numbers started telling a totally different story. This week on the Friday Fraudster, we look at what happens when a lifeline meant to lift people up, well, it raises more than just people. Are you ready? Let's go.
Welcome to the Friday Fraudster podcast. Join them as they discuss sad, funny, and sometimes disturbing fraud stories. Be sure to catch past episodes on your favorite podcasting platform or go to www.fridayfraudster.com.
All right, my friends. Look, let me ask you guys a question. Anybody volunteer for nonprofit agencies? Anybody volunteer at nonprofits or just volunteer at all? Several years ago, I used to volunteer at nursing homes, and we used to do it every quarter. We'd go in and we would play bingo with the elderly in the nursing home. We never gave cash, but I think some people, when they can't volunteer their time, some people like to give cash. So, you ever volunteered at a nursing home? And if so, what did you do? Have you ever given money to a nonprofit? Have you ever given money to a nonprofit? And if so, here's the big question. Did you ever follow up to see where the money went? Or did you just blindly give it? That's my question for today. Have you ever given money to a nonprofit? And if so, did you follow up to see how the money was spent? Or did you just blindly give out of the goodness of your heart? So, without further ado, let's just bring them up this week. Hey, guys.
Hey, happy Friday.
Welcome back, Christine.
Thank you. My long hiatus of 2 weeks?
Well,
like so
I
much
think
longer.
I think the quality of the show just went up tenfold now.
Oh, stop. You guys, you're going to give me a big head.
So, okay. So, you heard the question I just asked. You guys ever give to nonprofits? And if so, did you just give out of the goodness of your heart, or did you follow up later on to see if they actually spent the money well?
I mean, outside of like the Salvation Army, I've never given a exorbitant amount. I tend to give more of my time to local areas. Well, one specifically that I serve on. But outside of like $1 or $2, no.
So I regularly donate and involved in my church. And I was actually just looking every week. In the bulletin at church, but also in the weekly email, we have the numbers as far as what the budget is, what the actual is that was donated, how much they've collected. So yeah, they keep up all that. So do I track my money to see did my, however much money actually get, used wisely, not down to my dollars, but yeah, it's very transparent with what's being spent on and all of that. So yeah, they do a lot of reporting. They do well that way.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I said it just a few minutes ago. I used to volunteer at a nursing home. I also used to ring the bell for the Salvation Army at Christmas time, Christmas and Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yes.
I would
So
have
how
my
long
Santa.
did you hear the bell after you got done working a shift?
I'm still hearing it. well, and that was before I had a little bit of white in the beard. Actually, I think I started before I even had a beard. I would have the Santa hat and no beard and clean shaven. And obviously, I'm not a big person, so you didn't have the Santa gut. I called myself the Florida Santa, right? You look like you were ready to go surfing and stuff. Okay, so here's my next question, and I see Stephanie and Amber are here. So okay, why did you choose the causes that you chose to support?
Go ahead, Thomas.
I was going to let you go first. So, we are strong in our faith and my family here. So we go religiously to church, but we are also very selective about where we went, making sure they preach what we believe is the truth. So we were very active that way. We also had to make sure they have the services that we need as far as like for my kids and all, and also my wife and I. And then they also do a good job helping in the community.
Mine is because of my children. They're big band individuals. So the organization that I do a lot of time with is our youth band organization. Yep. So we help, like we run concessions for our varsity football game and stuff, and we take in that money and we supplement stuff that school budget can't cover, like busing to certain performances. And then like when the kids have performances after school, buy pizza so they'll have dinner before they have to do stuff. So it's just a way to give back to the students.
Yeah. And I think a lot of us tend to support causes that are near and dear to us. So, like, for example, there was this one group that I used to be in, a group of auditors. We would have conferences at different locations across the country. And whenever we traveled to a different location, we would volunteer at a homeless shelter and serve food to the homeless.
Nice. Yep.
You know, and I think we all have these different spots that tug on our heart. And so we decide to give. And like most of you, I don't necessarily track and trace the money to make sure that it's being spent the way that I, think that it should be spent. So it's oftentimes disheartening when you discover that something went awry. And let me pause for just one moment because StreamYard back here is not showing everybody because I see Kimberly is here. She's making a comment. She says happy Friday to everyone, but I'm only seeing Stephanie and Amber here in my backstage. Yeah. So that's a bummer. So anyway, hey Kimberly.
You're right about like we don't always track the money, right? We aren't diving in, but I don't know about y'all, but whenever I see an organization and it seems like the CEO or the owner or like some of the leadership, they're driving Ferraris into the parking garage, I'm not as inclined to give, right? You start kind of questioning a little bit. We've got, here in the greater Houston area, we've got a couple of mega churches, and you kind of look at it and you kind of question how much the money is going to stuff that it really should be going to. And I'm not doubting their faith or anything, but it starts making you question quite a bit. So yeah, you look for those, the parking lot audits, right?
Yep.
Well,
you hit that one.
The other thing, and this just made me think of what Thomas was saying. No matter what organization, field you're in, whatever, there's always going to be bad actors. So whatever we're talking about today is not encompassing of everybody's experiences.
Absolutely.
Yes. So today's story starts with a nonprofit built on redemption, designed to help people re-enter society after prison. Unfortunately, instead of second chances, this story is about second homes, second accounts, second cars, and a second helping of greed. So this is Lifeline to Success. That's the name of the nonprofit. And really the only thing they were really successful at was spending other people's money on themselves. Okay, let's talk about this. It started in 2009, the actual nonprofit. Now it promised job training, life skills, and things like that for ex-offenders. It was led by a husband and wife team, the Browns. Now the community saw them as change makers because they were doing great things in the community. And I say great in air quotes. They got some contract money, some grant money from the government. So to give one example, on paper, everything looked fine, but when investigators started taking a look at it, the numbers told a different story. For example, when you get a grant from the government, most times grants have explicit terms that are stated in them. One of those terms in theirs was you can't pay officers of the company. Unfortunately, from 2020 to 2024, the Browns quietly routed $285,600 to themselves. What do you guys think?
It's disheartening.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good term for it. It's disheartening. You hope that people that get into those kind of hold those kind of positions, they are upstanding, upright people. They are doing the right thing because they see a need and they have a heart and passion for that need. And yeah, it is disheartening. It's really, really disappointing and frustrating.
Yeah. And so the thing about this one too is you know the terms of the grant when you get it. They're laid out. And with most grants, there's periodic reporting that occurs. So periodically you have to sign off on paperwork. So it's not like they could say, well, we didn't know. And here's the thing,
Right.
these two individuals were pastors at a church called the Lifeline to a Dying World Ministries. So the husband was a pastor and then executive director of the nonprofit. The wife was the nonprofit officer and the one handling much of the money.
Yeah.
A new
Ooh,
Corvette.
Stephanie said that they have a new Corvette. Wait, they have a new Corvette? Was that in the story?
I did not know that.
No,
Hold
I
on.
think
They
she
were
was
looking
asking the
for money.
question. I think she's trying to figure out how they spent the money.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, wait a minute. I got it now. They didn't have a new Corvette, but I'll jump ahead just 1 minute. A spoiler alert. They did use the debit card to buy a 2020 Infiniti QX60 SUV for around $46,000.
Oof.
And all their
So that's kind of
their personal purchases.
yeah. What I find interesting about this one is so they had this nonprofit designed to help ex-convicts to come clean and get clean and live a straight life. Yet they were committing crimes and defrauding the people that they were supposed to defend. Allegedly.
Yeah. Rehabilitating, but we're also criminals.
There you go. Now, to make it even more interesting, though, is some of the payments were made via direct bank transfers, Cash App, PayPal, and checks. And most of the payments were processed by the wife. So she was a director in the nonprofit and she was processing the payments. So a breakdown in internal controls like every week, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times these nonprofits, they're small, they're tiny, they don't have a lot of staffing because they don't have a lot of money. Of course, when you steal that much money, they had money, they had the ability to hire. So I think so I mentioned that we're heavily involved in our church, and my faith is very important to me. And it is sickening that this gentleman, now I don't believe they've been convicted yet, right? They're just accused, right? So the fact that 4 days ago, which was a Sunday, no, it wasn't a Sunday, but 4 days ago, his last sermon was posted on their YouTube channel for the church that he's pastor with. That's disturbing to me, to be honest.
Ooh. Wow. Wow. So July of last year, the county that they reside in gave them a $50,000 grant. And as a part of that grant, it was stipulated you can't pay any officers. That very same day, the wife cut a check to the husband. And so, as if an improper payday wasn't bad enough, what they did next is where things really started to look like a reality show. So, on the debit card, they covered personal meals, they covered hairstylings, fitness clubs, OnStar subscriptions. I had no idea OnStar was still a thing. They also went shopping at Coach, Barnes. Seriously, you know anybody with OnStar? Coach, Barnes and Nobles, and a few more. Anybody still have OnStar? Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
I know like my phone would alert. I think my phone would alert my husband if it thought I was in a crash.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay. Okay. Now, here's one of the big things. You guys ever been to Jamaica?
No.
I have.
Thomas says yes. Christine says no. I have too.
Ghana, so I shouldn't say that I haven't been anywhere. I've used my passport once.
I'm sorry. Being in an oil and gas mega capital, I've traveled the world and filled up 1.5 passports. It was almost all business travel, so it's just funny the differences there. But I did go to Jamaica as part of a cruise out of the local Galveston port here. So that was actually one of the most depressing excursions that we took, because we had to drive across the island to get to the excursion, and so you see a lot of the poverty on the island.
Yep.
And you're going through, and you've just been on a cruise, and you're looking at the poverty, and you're not feeling that great about yourself as you're doing it. So that's the reason why I specifically remember Jamaica.
Yeah, that is very true. That is one thing that you see. So they went to Jamaica too, and apparently they did it up big time. They spent $7,900 at Sandals Montego Bay. And if you don't know what Sandals is, it's an all-inclusive resort. So you pay one fee and it's all you can eat, all you can drink. You stay on the resort and you just kind of have a good time. I can't confirm or deny if I've ever been to a Sandals once or twice.
I have not. So we're looking to go to Jamaica, Thomas, so you should be happy. But we're not looking at Sandals because it's like 2 to 3 times the cost. Like it's a high-end resort, from what I've been told. I don't know. Maybe you should defer to Thomas.
I will say
I've never been to a Sandals either.
It's all inclusive, so you don't pay for. They have excursions there, and they have the food and everything is paid for. So it depends. I don't know if when I went, it wasn't entirely too expensive compared to just going, but yeah, they may have jacked up the price. So yeah, they went to Sandals, $7,900, Montego Bay. Here's the other thing. Anybody ever been to a professional basketball game? Thomas, I'm sure you have, being here. Yeah. Christine, you have too. So have I. Mm-hmm. Those seats aren't cheap if you get really good seats, right? Courtside seats aren't cheap at all.
Well, no. Not even courtside. I mean, even the up higher. I actually had an argument with the local sales rep of the local NBA team here in Houston, saying that the value of a ticket compared to the value of another sport, it wasn't the same. They were overpriced. And he didn't appreciate that response to him.
Well, they got courtside seats to the Memphis Grizzlies game. Stephanie says, drink your weight in liquor. That's what you do when you go to those all-inclusive resorts. Some of them now, I've heard that like on cruises, long time ago, they used to have liquor included, or the liquor add-on was very small. I don't really drink, so I never purchased one, but I'm told now that upcharges a whole lot now for the liquor add-on.
Yep.
Oh,
I
I
don't
believe
really
it.
know.
We just went to a Bucks game. It was January 1st of this year. Or yeah, because my son's jazz band, they ended up getting chosen to play the national anthem.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, so we drove down there and we got tickets for all the kids that were playing. We were in the nosebleeds and they were $55 a piece. Like at the most top, like the top two. And those were $50 a piece.
Oh wow. Now, here's what's real crazy. Wait till you all hear how this was actually caught, but we're not going there yet. If shopping sprees and vacations don't sound wrong enough, the Browns decided to get entrepreneurial, shall I say. Let's talk about the side hustles. Wink, wink. Nearly $25,000 was sent to the Browns' church. Another $56,000 in donations meant for the nonprofit ended up in the church's bank account, another church bank account. And then, if that wasn't enough, they created a for-profit business called Lifeline Services. And what it did was it billed for landscaping contracts that, well, never happened. And so they pocketed another $3,100 from the landscaping business that didn't produce any landscaping services.
Well, they were getting all kinds of creative, weren't they?
They were very creative.
Yeah.
And you know what? Here's the thing. They actually had a board.
No, they didn't. I mean, they might have had a board, but it wasn't really a board. It was a yes, you can do whatever you want board.
Yes. But they still had a board. I didn't say it was effective. So when investigators started looking at records, the board rarely met and they rarely kept minutes, and they didn't approve any of the compensation that occurred. And also the records, there were no ledgers, no reconciliations. So there was pretty much zero oversight, which really meant that the Browns ran Lifeline like it was their own private ATM, if we're really, going to be honest about it.
It's just horrible.
Yeah. But here's the thing. They were using it as their own personal ATM. And when you think about ATMs, at some point, even the bank notices. So what ended up happening was someone noticed suspicious activities and they notified, I was trying to say notified and located. They notified the comptroller's office. And so they started a probe. And what they ended up finding as a whole was that $625,000, give or take, was misused or diverted, plus $755,000 in more questionable transactions. But because the records are so bad, they don't really know where the 755 went. Yeah.
Just don't know. Maybe OnStar has it.
Oh my goodness.
So are you going to hit on what happened in 2023?
Wait, it depends. What happened in 2023?
So I haven't been able to dig into it yet. I don't know if Christine has, but it says that Mr. Brown was pardoned by the governor in 2023. And the pardon even mentions his work helping people re-enter society. So I'm curious what he was pardoned for in 2023.
Oh, yeah. So, okay.
Like, do we have a pattern here?
So I wasn't able to find the exact nature of why he needed to be pardoned. But what I can tell you is his work with the nonprofit was cited as one of the reasons that he deserved the pardon, because it was work helping people acclimate back into society. So,
He previously pled guilty to federal conspiracy to financially defraud First Tennessee Bank, which is now First Horizon. In 2003, he was sentenced to 18 months in prison and has paid nearly $40,000 in restitution. He pled guilty to misdemeanor assault in 98, forgery in 99, and then theft of property between 1,000 and 10,000, forgery and burglary of a motor vehicle in 2003.
wow.
Okay, then. I knew Christine would do it for us. Thank you.
What did I say
have
earlier?
the same tools as you guys.
What did I say? The show just got 10 times better now that she's back.
I just feel bad because I feel like when I don't talk, people are like, oh, there's Christy just searching again. She should do this before she comes on the podcast.
Now, here's where it gets even more interesting, though. After the pardon, in some interviews, he expressed that he initially didn't feel deserving of the pardon. He described the recognition as being one of transformation in the services that he was providing. So,
So, looking at one of these articles, so he was indicted, and I'm sure are you going to go through, I'm sure you'll go through the different counts that he's being charged with, but it says the indictment stems from charges filed in 2020. So the math doesn't math there for me. Normally, if you file charges in 2020, you don't wait 5 years to face a grand jury.
It could.
yeah.
Yeah. Is it the amount?
Here's what I think. And again, this is, you have to forgive me for my, never mind. I'm just going to show it. I'm going to put it on screen. So my speculation is that this is most likely due to the fact that this was investigated by the Tennessee Comptroller's Office of the Treasury. And so it takes a long time for people to do investigations. See the date on the investigative report right there? August 28th of 2025.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Yeah. So the report just came out yesterday, and the report, I'm assuming, is what they submitted to the grand jury too, because it mentions the report in the indictment. So they did a good job investigating, no doubt. But that's my guess as to why it took so long. Because if you look here, let's see if I can pull this one up as well. So here is the grand jury document from July of 25. And if you see here, here are the charges they were indicted on: theft of property over $250,000, computer fraud over $60,000, theft of property over $60,000, computer fraud over $60,000, theft of property over $250,000. That's twice, yeah, right? Theft of property over $60,000, computer fraud over $10,000, theft of property over $250,000, computer fraud over $10,000, money laundering, and then official misconduct. So I was confused by the official misconduct, because I'm thinking that has to do with the fact that the money came from a grant from either a federal or a state agency, and by default, you are an official in that capacity. But yeah, I don't know. Stephanie says, totally makes sense to put him in charge of a nonprofit. And she said COVID shut down a lot of nonviolent court cases. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot about that timing. Yep.
Well, I know that there was one case where we uncovered 1.7 million in cash missing, and it took them 4 years.
Hmm.
Like her sentence, I feel like her sentence and the time she had to serve would have been done by the time she went to court.
Yeah. And
Interesting.
so I hate when things drag out. Like if I messed up, if I made a mistake, let's address it so that way you can move on with your life. Obviously, it seems like this guy has a little bit of a history, and something tells me the wife might have been mixed up with a few things, but I'm just assuming there. I don't know what her past is, but even with a history the way that his has, I I would be hating having 5 years of knowing that this investigation is going on or assuming it's going on and having to wait. The wait would almost be worse than the punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. So there's Sandals
Yeah.
Resort.
Yeah, it's like $8,000. Like we're
Yeah.
looking at like all inclusive for 2 people is like 3,500.
Well, you got to look at the room category though.
Oh,
It was the beachfront millionaire 1-bedroom butler suite with outdoor tranquility soaking tub. So that was the luxury best of the best room, you know?
yeah.
And it looks like they went in February, so I guess it's cold in Memphis in February. So January, sorry, January 18th, 2022.
Come on. I'm trying to find details about that one. That's just so.
Oh, which one? The beachfront millionaire 1-bedroom butler suite.
Uh-huh. Yep, exactly. Oh, come on. Give me some better details than that. 24-hour in-room dining, personal butler service. Yeah, it doesn't give us. And then
Now you got me wondering.
pop-up ads all over the place.
Oh, of course. Oh, wait a minute though.
I just searched this. That means I'm about to get bombarded with ads for sandals.
But wait, I think I found it on YouTube. We have a video. Hold on, let me
There we
see.
go.
If I can skip the ads. Let's see. And I'm going to turn the volume off so that YouTube does not ding us. But can you guys see it now?
Yep.
So apparently it's a swim up millionaire butler suite. So he's doing the walkthrough to it. Look at that bathroom. Oh, wow. That's bigger than some people's closet.
Oh yeah.
Bedroom.
I was
Oh,
saying
wow.
closet. I don't know anybody that has a closet that big.
Oh, look at
I
that
know my
nice
daughter would love a
seating.
closet that big. That is nice.
I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit and see what else is on this tour. All right, dude.
Oh,
So
yeah, more
look at
closet.
that. Oh wow. Let's go. Whoa, wait a minute. I thought we just saw a tub. It's another
Oh, this is
tub.
the outdoor soaker.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is the outdoor soap. Oh wow.
Yeah. Someday when I win the lottery.
Wow.
Honestly,
Okay.
I don't know if I could spend that kind of money on something like that. I don't know.
If you
Even
won
if
the
I could not.
lottery,
even if I won the lottery, I don't know.
I could. If I won the lottery, I could spend money like that. I
Wait,
mean,
so
it'd have to be a lot, but
oh, that's pretty neat though. The pools are connected and then you still have the ocean right there to the front side. Oh wow.
Robert's planning his next vacation.
I mean, would
Nah.
you know if somebody's like, "Hey, let's go," you're not gonna say no.
Oh, wait. Okay. So I started it in the middle. Let's go back to the beginning.
I'm like,
Look
"Ooh,
at
there's
that.
more." Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that's really nice. I don't know why it started in the restroom, in the bathroom. Now, you know what though? There is no kitchen, so to speak, you know? They really want you to spend, well, Sandals is all inclusive, so you don't have to pay for food. Never mind. You don't really need a kitchen. Okay, we get the point now, I think. I was looking to see if he would show something different, but all right, dude. Thank you very much for the tour. Okay, so who do you guys think? Worth almost $8,000 or no?
No. Nope.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was for a month, yes. For a week, no.
Yeah,
All I know is
$7,000.
all I know is I've got a family trip coming up very soon that is less than 8,000, but it's a week at Disney World. So I would rather do that and not spend $8,000.
Yeah,
Hey,
and
I say
that's
it's not $8,000. See, the great part is my wife is handling it all, so I have no idea how much we're paying.
here's some money, just pay it.
Yep. Here you go. Here. Yep.
So there's the church, or wait a minute, there's the nonprofit, Lifeline, Prison to Promise, Reentry Program, and then Lifeline to a Dying World Ministries. That's the other company, the for-profit. I guess that's the landscaping business. Which honestly, it kind of makes sense though. I mean, if you want to get people jobs fast, landscaping is a good job to have. Other than, I would be worried about the people that were coming to my home to do the landscaping. So that would be of concern, right? And then Thomas mentioned
Well,
on their
as long as
Facebook group. Say again, Christine.
I didn't say anything.
Oh,
well, that was me. I was just going to say, as long as they're outside and they're working, I'm not as negative about, someone like that doing the landscaping. But you're also not going to be standing around talking about future vacations and when your house is going to be empty either.
true, true. And here we are in church. So that's always interesting to see.
Yeah. It's just sad. Because now it's going to be individuals down in that area for a lot of these places that need grants to operate and everything else. Everybody's going to be questioning, what is the money being used for?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think what's really interesting is they were able to get the grants, which means they were able to demonstrate some sort of proficiency and competency in maintaining a business. The landscaping business could have been, probably should have been viable as an option to help people. And I think what really is kind of saddening to me is if you had been in and out yourself and kind of turned your life around with the ministry, then you could have been a beacon of hope to others. Hey, you can do this. We've got this grant money here to help you. It just seems odd that someone who'd been through it and kind of worked his way through it would then turn around and defraud others. Now, I must mention this is all alleged right now. They've not been convicted. They've just been indicted. But
And if they're not guilty, but if they can say that somebody else was using that money, that wasn't them, that somebody else was doing it, somebody was misappropriating funds, is what it really feels like.
yeah,
And so all of us talked about being involved in different nonprofits, and yes, sometimes you're willing to just write a check or buy the cookies or whatever to be able to help support them. But especially when you're talking about larger sums of money or an organization you really care about, volunteer with it, get involved. Because a lot of times that alone, just being in the building, handing out the food, whatever it is, for one thing, it's just a good thing to help others, right? But also, you see a little more on the inside, the inside workings, and you kind of get the feeling of, is this an upstanding organization or is it not? And there's been several that I've been part of in the past. I'm like, you know what, this isn't really ran the way I thought it would be, and you just. I'm not saying there was fraud or anything, but you just walk away from it because you realize that no, my money can be better used other places. But the only way to know that is really to actually get involved in those organizations.
Right.
Yeah. And this is very similar to the stories that we have every week, right? Where there's a lapse in internal controls that allows fraud to happen. But this one was massive. Okay, now you all stop me if you think I've forgotten something, but as I'm taking notes and I take tally here, missing internal controls at Lifeline to Success. First, ineffective or inactive board oversight. So they said that the board rarely met. That's what they saw when they pulled the documentation to do the investigation. There were no meeting minutes, no record of approving compensation or disbursements. And so that meant that the Browns had no check on their authority. So the control missing there was an active independent board that reviewed finances, approved executive pay, and documented decisions. The next thing they said was that, and kudos to them for doing the investigation at the comptroller's office, but no proper accounting records. They said that they didn't manage a general ledger. They didn't have reconciliations or timesheets. They relied on check registers and bank statements only to do their accounting records. So they had no sort of standard accounting system, no segregation of duties, and no documents to support transactions, which is why that other 700,000 is out there like, well, we don't know. We're not sure. Third thing is they didn't have any policies and procedures. Fourth thing is they had, conflict of interest violations because the husband was simultaneously the nonprofit's executive director and a county employee. He was the Office of Reentry Director for the county. So even despite that, they were able to get the grants, which was very interesting. Now with grants, fifth thing is they had no grant compliance monitoring. And every grant requires you to put some sort of monitoring in place. I said no segregation of duties. And then next thing is there was a failure to safeguard assets. So like, for example, the assets like the SUV were in the Browns' name and not the nonprofit. Buying the SUV may not have been such a huge deal depending on how they were using it if it was at least in the nonprofit's name. So that's like, 7 things that I've kind of come up with. Like, here's a list of internal controls just missing blatantly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good list of them. And I'm over on the church website, and actually every church website I've ever gone to, you normally have a drop-down menu that gives just who's on the leadership team, whether it's the senior pastor or whoever leads the music or, the church secretary. They don't have anything like that on here. So I kind of wonder, is it just him and his wife and that's it for the church? And what is possibly going on over there with no oversight?
Right.
Well, and we just saw a glimpse of the inside of the church, right? So we know it existed, right? We saw the building. We know the building existed, but I think you're right. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Heck, I was looking for the church's website myself. What? Huh. So
It's just making me wonder, like, I'm guessing some of this, did they do like funneling through the church and then take more? Because it seems like they're only able to get so much based on their transactions, but it looked like a lot of it went through to that church.
That's kind of
a
what I'm
lot
thinking.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and obviously they were a nonprofit, the church that is, and churches are exempt from filing 990s. And so for those who don't know, a 990 is the form that nonprofits have to turn in to the federal government that shows, income minus expenses, and it helps to validate their nonprofit status. And they're typically open to the public. They're public records. Anyone can search them, but churches are usually exempt from having to do a Form 990.
Which is crazy because that's the other thing is on your 990, it tells you what each executive or officer makes
Yep.
for that year as well. So it's just like nobody really knows what their pastor is making.
So, are there any other forms? Are there any other forms that are used for something like this? Is there an alternative?
I don't think so for a church.
Yeah. I mean, the 990s are pretty simplistic. It wouldn't be anything that you can't find on a normal posted financial statement.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Wait, now Thomas found the YouTube. Oh, there's the YouTube. I was going to say, I didn't find the YouTube channel.
Oh, I can't visit.
Let's see. So is this it? This is the church's website, right?
Yep, that's the church's website. If you scroll down, it gives links. I think we'll scroll down.
Gotcha.
You might have to know if you go to the menu. Sorry, if you go to the menu up at the top right.
Well, that's what was interesting. The menu just has home, sermons, and then contact.
But if you go to sermons, it goes to, and then just click watch sermon, and it'll take you over to the YouTube page.
You know what else too? So the YouTube page is the name of the pastor, not the name of the church.
Yep.
I don't know if anybody would really have a problem with that, but I really would expect it to be the name of the church.
So
that website expired.
So we have a kind of a strong feeling about that. If the pastor's name is more prominent than the name of the church, then I have a problem with the church.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at, right?
I'll say it. I have no problem saying it. Yep. If the pastor's name's out there and the lettering is almost bigger than the church name lettering, then I'm just going to keep driving right on by.
Now, here's someone who's familiar with government grants and contracts. Lisa says so many red flags listed, should have never received one grant. They're not trying to hide fraudulent, suspicious activity. Yeah, I mean, just red flags all over the place. But now, okay, so let me ask, Lisa, though, the process for following up on grants, it's pretty spotty, and it depends on where the grant is going, the dollar amount. Sometimes if you're below a certain threshold, they may not even look at it at all until the contract is complete and then come back years later. If it's a large amount, they might start looking annually. But either way, you're required to send some periodic reports to the grantor. But yeah, so many red flags.
So in the investigative report that you provided as well, Robert, one thing that kills me on this, speaking of Lisa and red flags, one of their deficiencies was a conflict of interest clause noted in a contract between the county and Lifeline. As an employee of the county, which DeAndre was, he violated the conflict of interest clause related to a $50,000 grant received from the county. How did the county not know? Yeah, would you not know if you had a prison to population rehabilitation nonprofit in your county? Because I'm guessing that's probably why, with his record that he had, he was able to get a position like that. He works for a nonprofit. That's what he did for the county. So there's a part of me I'm going, how come nobody's asking the county about this? Why did you guys okay this grant? You knew it was a conflict of interest. Unless he just had all approval over it. Just a thought, a rant.
But then also, sometimes you'll look and say, he's a pastor, therefore we give him the benefit of the doubt. That's the wrong approach, but a lot of times someone that's a clergy, that's what they will do. And I mean, they're human beings. That's wrong. But I mean, that could have been something as well. But I bet you're right. I bet your first thought of he just approved it. is probably what happened. Janky website.
I mean, it was. There's just so many red flags on the website alone.
Yep.
So here's what I will say. I've worked for a few quasi-governmental agencies, and the entire process for managing conflicts of interest is broken. It's not proactive. It's very reactive and self-disclosure, and they don't do anything with the data for real, for real. Like, so one of my last jobs was in Alabama, and in 2018, 2019, your conflict of interest form, well, let's see, no, in 2016, it was handwritten, I believe. Then it moved to a web form that you filled out, but they still didn't make connections to try and be proactive. I think that the thinking is most people are going to be honest about it. I mean, but on the flip side, they ask for everything under the sun. They ask about your mutual funds, your stock ownership, and so you may not even get down to the level that you want to. Lisa's saying county officials could be involved. Possible too. Yeah. Could have been people that work with him saying, we're going to go ahead and give you the grant because we know you and like you. You work with us.
Here's another red flag for that church website. There's no give button. There's no donation button. I mean, that's like that's an automatic for not just churches but nonprofits, right? I mean, the easiest way to give money is you click a button that says donate. You don't have that option on the page.
Well, I'll do you even better since Lisa brought it up saying it was janky. Those images, man, they blurry. Those are blurred images. Like I was looking at them and I was like, it doesn't even cost anything nowadays to get images that aren't blurry. But there's a Facebook page too. Oh, this is interesting.
Well, look at you
I don't
guys
think I
just
saw
went
that.
in.
Oh, the Facebook is not much. Oh, I'm not logging in. Ugh. Okay.
It's the unofficial church Facebook page too.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see what's under contact though. Oh, there's not even a phone number, even an address. Wouldn't you want people to visit? Oh, wait, but there is a cash.
There's the cash app.
Nope.
There is.
How dare you?
You couldn't even use Venmo. Like I think of Cash App and I think of scammer. I'm sorry.
They use Cash App, and then they even like they
Wait a minute though.
Lifeline to dying world.
Wait, anybody think this is odd? Want to stop by? Send us an email. Wouldn't I just have your address here and I just kind of Google your address and use Google Maps to just go there? Like, why do I have to email you first to stop by? Oh man, this is great.
And then they don't capitalize the W in the next sentence, and then here's the Cash App.
Oh, okay. You know what? I think I understand why. Oh man. I don't think I've ever seen like a Cash App that prominently displayed on a church's website. Okay, I'm okay.
Are you
Okay.
gonna be okay?
I don't know if I am because like, okay, these are like huge red flag. Okay, here's the deal. We talk about fraud a lot on this show because that's what it's about. And we're auditors, right?
Yep.
And I think that one thing that's important is to kind of audit your life, the things that you see. And I know I drive people crazy sometimes because personally they'll be asking me questions and I'll be like, wait a minute, what happened here? What happened there? Because stuff doesn't make sense. And when people are trying to be deceptive, oftentimes they get mad at me. They don't even come to me and ask me anything and I'm not being detective. I'm really sincerely trying to have a conversation with you about what it is that you're doing. Hey, you said you got this new thing. Hey, how'd it go? The more questions you ask, the more defensive they get. But when I look at this, if I'm auditing this and if I'm just a regular citizen and I'm thinking, I've got to find me a church home and I want to find me a church to go to. Okay, I come to this webpage, a place to grow. Okay, welcome to a church of service. Click the YouTube button for past services. Okay, there is a phone number. then you're telling me your doors are open. I got your mission, your vision. I know that worship service is at 11 a.m. and events. So the only event that you have on your church's website is the actual nonprofit that you're running. Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to noon. What are you doing there from 9 a.m. to noon? That's an event that non-offender church members would benefit from. You see what I'm saying? Like I would start looking at all of this and all these questions would just pop up.
Here's another big question though. They have they say every Sunday at 11. Where? They don't have their address anywhere they don't have their physical address on the website.
There you go. So, and I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss it, but no, I didn't miss it.
No, I just checked all the pages.
And then, so
Contact?
even under contact, yeah, we just said contact, there's no address. So
They must just do it on YouTube. Sunday sermons on YouTube.
well, I don't know about that because remember we had let's see, where is it? I'm darn it, I just had it pulled up and now I'm okay.
Hey, Rob, I've got something pulled up to be able to show you. Want me to can I share my screen real quick?
Yeah, I don't know if you can you? Yeah.
Find out.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Does it? So this is my church's website. You see the information over here. You have the button for our locations, which gives that's going everywhere. There we go. So we actually have the addresses, phone numbers, campus maps. Go over here to see the staff, the give button. There's really no red flags here, right? I mean, I hope not. All these different ways to contact us, and even here you can click on the pastor's name. Well, that's kind of funny. A bunch of information about the staff and the pastors and phone numbers and email addresses, and that's a little more legit compared to. So yeah, just do a little research, not just on church, all right, but any kind of nonprofit. Do a little background check before you dive in.
Well, and the thing with the other one that's the subject of today's story, I would actually think that if you were a released convict, that it would lend more credibility to you to say, "This is my journey. Look where I am now." Like I don't think, and maybe I'm just wrong about this, but I don't think it would necessarily turn people away. I think it would lend more credibility to the message that you are bringing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it looks like his stuff is online. His most recent one he posted was 4 days ago.
Yep.
You have a non-janky website.
You have a non-janky website, right? I don't know.
Lisa, I just love that because that would be something that I would say to my kids about something being janky.
Yeah, this one bothers me a bit because I've got some friends that I grew up with that went to jail and or prison, and they came out and made some good things of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand what that really looks like and how hard it is too. Like they had to fight hard to not go back into trouble. They had to fight really hard.
So this is one of our church members, also a good friend of mine. He has Mission Centers of Houston. So you have a lot of information here, but the important one was over here on the news. You had impact stories, and these are actual people who were impacted by mission centers, right? That's what I would expect whenever it's a nonprofit that's helping others. Yeah, you want to know who they're helping and how they're helping out, right? I mean, that should be such an easy thing to add in, and they actually do have events and schedules. By the way,
so wait a minute. Lisa says recently released convict starting a church is a red flag. At least I don't mean recently released. I mean after you've actually achieved some things, coming back in then. But yeah, no. I do kind of agree with this though. They just got out yesterday and they have a church today. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Where'd you get your members from? What happened?
Oh, gee.
But no, think about it. He got a pardon. He got a pardon. Like that to me, that it does a few things. One, it really says that you work hard if it's real. Now, in this particular instance, I think it actually diminishes power of the governor's word. Because would I believe any other pardon that he gives now? Like I would really question that. And granted, you can't control everything that happens to the people that you endorse. I'm sure there's some people I've endorsed in life that turned out to be scum, right? So,
Yep.
Lisa,
Lisa,
She's
can I be the
brilliant
choir
today.
director?
This is great.
I'm gonna be the choir director. We're gonna.
oh, geez. Who's gonna start your band?
Look, she's saying the pardon in general is. Wait a minute. Okay, hold on now, Lisa. Do you mean a pardon in general, or do you mean a pardon from this particular governor now because his reputation is probably going to be ruined because of this pardon that he gave this dude? I'm real interested to see what this answer is now. Lisa's like, pardon smart, and it doesn't mean.
I so want to have a political comment on this, but I'm not. I'm having to bite my tongue hard on this one.
How dare you?
Ooh, oh, I'm gonna hold my tongue on that one too. But oh my goodness, you know that because that one could go a bunch of different ways. Right?
Not gonna say it. Not gonna say it. Can we end?
We might have to because I might say it. Oh boy. Oh, because I mean, oh, wait a minute. Here we go. She said all pardons. I mean, look, you know, nowadays you can be a crackhead and get a pardon. So oh my goodness, cashless churches. That's when the Cash App comes into play. Hit the church up on the Cash App for your prayer request.
Right?
Okay, I gotta stop. Oh, okay. Okay.
Christine's never going to come back on with us.
Oh, you're good. We're 3 minutes after 3. So that's all I blocked off on my calendar.
Oh no. Oh, okay, Christine. We'll wrap it up.
Well,
Lisa said can't trust parties. Wait a minute. Thomas, who is this? I can't tell who this is.
Hold on. I'm looking. Let's see.
I'm thinking it's Carol.
No, it's Letitia.
Oh, wait, Letitia. Oh, from Australia? That Letitia?
I'm pulling it up. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Ah, okay. Glad that we could entertain you all today. Edutain, as it were. But
Edutain, education and entertainment.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Okay. On a serious note, did we miss anything in today's story? Any more red flags we need to think about or consider, or anything else?
I don't think so.
No, I mean,
Okay.
I think it's pretty much covered.
Okay, I'm trying to be serious for the ending. She said she's speechless. Wait, did we do something? Was it us? Did we?
No.
All right. So thank you all for joining us this week. Sorry. As I'm sitting here doing prayer hands, I promise I'm not praying. I'm just.
I was honestly waiting for you to say, "Have a great weekend. God bless."
Did you? Anybody remember? What was the Def Comedy Jam was the comedy show way back in the day. So Russell Simmons would come out at the end of every show and he would say, "Thank y'all for coming out. God bless. Good night."
Well, Thomas, don't hate me and nobody else. So like when somebody's like, "Have a great weekend," and I go, "And also with you."
Okay.
In
Yeah.
the Lutheran or Catholic church around here, like it's a saying. So it's like the Lord will be with you. And then you say, "And also
with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spirit."
Yeah.
So I did attend church quite a bit when I was younger. So there's little things that stuck with me.
You know what else too though? It's also the way Yoda speaks.
Yeah. It is.
Only he would say, also you with.
Also,
Lisa said she's all out of red flag. Okay, look, my stomach hurts now for real. Oh God, it's too much laughing. Okay. Okay. We've got Yoda, churches, Star Wars, criminals. This has been an action-packed episode. Thank you all for joining us this week. We'll see you next week.
bye.
Yeah.